Commander Wright stood before the Confederation Council, her uniform neat but her face tired after weeks of difficult meetings. The chamber was filled with representatives from every major species in the galaxy, all gathered to hear about humanity's return. "The humans could have destroyed my fleet," Wright explained. "Instead, they showed us the truth. For 5 centuries, they'd been helping us from the shadows." Counselor Jen looked skeptical. "You were sent to capture or destroy them. Instead, you returned advocating for them." "Because I was wrong," Wright admitted. "We were all wrong about humans." The council chamber doors opened, and Claire Phillips entered with John Miller and Alan Gray. The room filled with whispers and gasps. Many council members had never seen a human before. "The human delegation may speak," Counselor Jen announced, though his voice was tense. Claire stepped forward. "For centuries, we hid because we were feared. Today, we come in peace, offering friendship and knowledge that can benefit all species." She activated a small device that projected images of medical treatments, clean energy systems, and faster ship engines. "These are gifts we offer freely to the Confederation." Some council members looked interested, others suspicious. Counselor Varick, the reptilian saurian, rose to speak. "Why should we trust you now? If you've been hiding and watching us, how do we know you don't plan to take control?" John Miller answered, "If control was our goal, we could have achieved it centuries ago. We chose a different path." Ellen stepped forward. "I was born in this confederation. I believed humans were extinct. When I discovered the truth, I saw not conquerors but survivors who value peace and cooperation." The council debated for hours. Outside the chamber, crowds gathered to watch the historic meeting on large screens. Lisa Morgan stood with Ben Carter and other humans who had come to witness this moment. "Will they accept us?" Ben asked quietly. "They should," Lisa replied. "The evidence is clear." Inside the chamber, the debate finally ended. Counselor Jen rose to announce the decision. "The Confederation acknowledges humanity's peaceful intentions. We accept your gifts and offer formal recognition of New Earth as an independent world." Claire smiled with relief, but Jen continued. "However, human technology must be monitored, and your population growth restricted." Commander Wright stood suddenly. "No, those are the same restrictions that forced humans into hiding centuries ago." Wright turned to face the entire council. "I've seen what humans can do. They don't need our permission to exist. They're offering partnership when they could demand much more." She took a bold step forward. "I propose a new treaty. Humanity joins the Confederation as equals, not subjects." The council erupted in argument, but then screens around the chamber began flashing urgent warnings. A technician rushed in. "Counselors, long-range sensors detect multiple unknown vessels entering Confederation space. They're not responding to any communication and are moving faster than anything we've ever seen." Outside the Confederation borders, a vast swarm of crystalline ships had appeared, destroying everything in their path. Reports flooded in of outer colonies being attacked by these silent, unstoppable invaders. Claire looked at John, both realizing what this meant. "The Crystal Horde," John said quietly. "We've been tracking them for decades. They consume everything in their path." Claire turned to the council. "This threat is why we've been preparing. It's why New Earth is hidden beyond your borders. The Horde cannot be reasoned with or stopped by conventional means." Counselor Jen looked shaken. "What can be done?" Claire stepped to the center of the room. "Together, we might have a chance. Human technology combined with Confederation resources." She extended her hand toward Jen. "Not as subjects or rulers, but as equals facing a common enemy." After a moment of hesitation, Jen took her hand. "Equals," he agreed. Within days, human scientists were working alongside the best minds in the Confederation. Ships were retrofitted with technology that had been hidden for centuries. Commander Wright led the combined fleet, with John Miller as her second in command. As the defenders of the galaxy prepared for battle, Alan stood with Lisa watching humans and aliens working together. "The last human died centuries ago," he said, quoting the old belief. "Or so they thought." Lisa smiled. Maybe this was always how it was meant to be. 2 weeks passed as the central hub of the human station traveled through space. The humans had connected with the other stations via special communication channels that couldn't be tracked. Everyone was heading to New Earth, but taking different paths to avoid detection. Alan and Lisa had been fully accepted by the humans. They helped with daily tasks and shared all they knew about current Confederation politics and technology. One morning, Ben Carter called them to his lab. "I've been studying your DNA," Ben said, looking at Alan with curious eyes. "There's something interesting I found." Alan looked worried. "What is it?" "You have human DNA markers," Ben said simply. "About 8% of your genetic code is human." Alan stared in shock. "That's impossible. I'm from Centauri Prime. My family has lived there for generations." "Many humans escaped into other societies when we faked our extinction," Ben explained. "They changed their appearances and hid their identities. Some had children with other species. It seems you have a human ancestor." Lisa put her hand on Alan's shoulder. "This explains why you were so drawn to investigating the energy readings." Before Alan could process this news, alarms blared throughout the hub. John Miller's voice came over the speakers. "All personnel to emergency stations. Confederation ships detected on approach." In the command center, Claire looked grim as she studied the tactical display. 6 Confederation warships, including Commander Wright's flagship. "They found us." "How?" Frank asked, his voice tight with anger. John checked the systems. "They must have analyzed our jump pattern. Wright is smarter than we gave her credit for." On the Confederation flagship, Commander Wright watched the human station on her view screen. "Prepare boarding teams. I want their technology intact and their leaders captured." Her second-in-command looked nervous. "Commander, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the station. Nothing like we've seen before." Wright ignored the warning. "Begin approach." They're cornered now. Back on the human station, Claire gathered the leadership council. "We have no choice. We must use the defender systems." Frank shook his head. "They've never been tested in actual combat. We don't know if they'll work." "It's either that or surrender," Claire said firmly. "Humanity has hidden long enough." John activated a series of controls that had remained sealed for centuries. Defender systems online. Ancient weapons activated. Outside the station, golden light began to glow around the structure. The approaching Confederation ships slowed, their sensors confused by what they were detecting. "What is that?" Commander Wright demanded as her ship's systems began to flicker. Suddenly, dozens of small golden orbs emerged from the station and surrounded the Confederation ships. They didn't fire weapons or cause damage. Instead, they projected holographic images into every ship, showing the true history of humanity. Their accomplishments, their peaceful intentions, and the centuries they'd spent secretly helping other species. Commander Wright watched in amazement as the images showed humans diverting asteroids from populated worlds, curing diseases, and preventing wars, all anonymously. The final image showed New Earth, beautiful and welcoming, with the words, "A new beginning," not a threat, appearing above it. On the station, Ben explained to Alan and Lisa, "The defender system doesn't destroy. It reveals truth. It was built by our greatest scientists centuries ago, designed to be used only when we were ready to return to the galaxy." The Confederation ships remained motionless, their weapons powered down. After several minutes, Commander Wright's voice came through on all channels. "This is Commander Wright requesting direct communication with the human leadership." Claire accepted the call. Wright's face appeared on the main screen, her expression a mixture of confusion and wonder. "You could have destroyed us," Wright said. "Your technology is far beyond ours. But you chose to show us truth instead." "That's the humanity that's been hiding all these years," Claire replied. "Not conquerors, not enemies, just people trying to survive and help others along the way." Wright was silent for a moment. "The Confederation Council ordered me to capture you or destroy you. But what I've seen changes everything." "What will you do now, Commander?" Claire asked. Wright straightened her shoulders. "I believe it's time for the Confederation to learn the truth about humanity." The station shook as the first pirate ships fired warning shots. In the control center, John Miller coordinated the defense systems, while Ben Carter prepared the fold space engines, a technology unknown to the Confederation. "Pirates are demanding we surrender the station and all technology," Claire reported, reading the incoming message. "They claim they'll spare our lives." "They're lying," John said firmly. "Once they have what they want, they'll kill everyone." Ben looked up from his console. "Fold space engines are ready. We can jump in 3 minutes." "The other stations?" Claire asked. "Already gone," Ben confirmed. They jumped to the emergency coordinates. Alan studied the tactical display showing the pirate ships surrounding them and the Confederation fleet approaching rapidly. "If you jump now, the Confederation will track your energy signature. They'll find you again." Lisa nodded in agreement. "And if the pirates take the station, they'll get human technology that could destabilize the entire galaxy." Claire faced the Human Council. "We need a new plan. We can't let either group get our technology." Frank Nelson stepped forward. "We have one option. The Phoenix Protocol." Several council members gasped. Claire's face grew pale. "That's a last resort." "What's the Phoenix Protocol?" Alan asked. John explained grimly. "It's our final escape plan. We transfer all essential data and personnel to emergency ships while rigging the station to self-destruct, leaving no trace. But we can fool them," Lisa suggested suddenly. "The pirates want technology. The Confederation wants humans. What if we give neither what they really want?" For the next 2 minutes, they formed a desperate plan. While Ben prepared the fold space jump, John readied a small fleet of decoy ships. Alan and Lisa helped program the station's automated systems. "Pirates in boarding range," a technician called out. "Confederation fleet now 30 minutes away. Begin evacuation to emergency ships," Claire ordered. "Activate the decoys." Alarms sounded throughout the station as people rushed to designated escape pods and ships. Alan and Lisa helped guide families to safety, witnessing the calm efficiency of people who had prepared for this moment for generations. "Ready to execute jump sequence," Ben announced. Path set to lead both pirates and Confederation away from New Earth coordinates. The station trembled as several pirate ships attached to outer docking ports, beginning forced entry. John activated the defense systems, temporarily holding them back. 20 escape ships away, a technician reported. Only command crew remaining. Commander Susan Wright's voice came through the communication system. "Attention unknown station. This is Commander Wright of the Galactic Confederation. Surrender immediately or face destruction." Claire nodded to Alan. Following their plan, he responded. "Commander Wright, this is Dr. Alan Gray. We've been captured by pirates. They're attempting to steal technology from this abandoned research station. Please help us." The message worked perfectly. The approaching Confederation fleet accelerated, now targeting the pirate ships. "All personnel evacuated," John confirmed. "Station set to self-destruct after jump." Claire looked at Alan and Lisa. "Last chance to change your minds. Once we jump, you're coming with us. The Confederation will consider you traitors." Alan took Lisa's hand. "We've seen the truth. We choose to go with you." Initiating fold space jump in 3, 2, 1. Ben counted down. The world around them seemed to bend and stretch. The stars outside the viewports blurred into streaks of light. The station vanished from its location just as the first Confederation ships engaged the pirates. When reality stabilized, they were in empty space far from any known system. The station's outer sections began breaking apart, as planned, leaving only the central hub intact. "Phoenix Protocol complete," John reported. Tracking shows both pirates and Confederation following our false trail of radiation. Where are we? Lisa asked, looking at the unfamiliar stars. Halfway to New Earth, Claire said with relief. But our journey isn't over. Commander Wright is clever. She'll realize the deception eventually. On her Confederation flagship, Commander Wright watched the strange radiation trail left by the vanishing station. Something didn't feel right. The energy pattern was too clean, too obvious. It's a trap, she realized. They want us to follow this trail. She turned to her officers. Change course. They're still out there, and I will find them. Back at Confederation headquarters, Eric Harris smiled as the signal from the Stargazer confirmed his suspicions. He had been right to place the hidden transmitter. The energy readings were more than just an anomaly. He rushed to the office of Commander Susan Wright, the head of Confederation security. Commander, I have proof, Eric said, placing a datapad on her desk. The scientists found something in Sector 87B. My transmitter shows their ship docked with a massive structure that doesn't appear on any star charts. Commander Wright studied the data with narrow eyes. And you believe this is connected to humans, a species extinct for 5 centuries. The energy signatures match old human technology perfectly, Eric insisted. What if they didn't all die? What if they've been hiding, growing stronger, developing weapons we can't imagine? Commander Wright stood and walked to the window overlooking the busy Confederation capital. Prepare a fleet. We leave immediately. If humans have survived in secret all this time, they represent the greatest threat the Confederation has ever faced. Meanwhile, on the human station, Alan and Lisa were brought before the full Human Council. 12 leaders from different stations had gathered through holographic projections. The mood was tense. The signal has been traced to your ship, Claire Phillips said coldly. The Confederation now knows our location. We had nothing to do with it. Alan protested. We came here seeking knowledge, not to expose you. An older man with a stern face spoke up. I am Frank Nelson, military advisor. I recommend immediate evacuation of all stations and destruction of any evidence. And what about our visitors? Another council member asked. They cannot leave, Frank said simply. They know too much. Lisa stepped forward. You don't have to run. Let us help you. The Confederation isn't united in fear of humans. Many species would welcome your return. John Miller had been quiet, but now he spoke. There might be another way. We've monitored Confederation communications. A fleet is being assembled under Commander Wright. She's known for her aggressive tactics. But they're still 12 hours away. What are you suggesting? Claire asked. If Alan and Lisa can prove their loyalty, they could help us. We have friends and allies within the Confederation who don't even know we exist. With their help, maybe we could reveal ourselves on our own terms. Claire considered this. How would they prove their loyalty? By helping us prepare for the Confederation's arrival, John said. By choosing to stand with us. Ben Carter, who had been analyzing the signal from the Stargazer, suddenly looked up from his console. There's something else. The Confederation fleet is larger than necessary for a simple investigation. They're arming for battle. Eric Harris didn't just tell them where we are. Alan realized. He told them you're a threat. The council chamber erupted in urgent conversation. After several minutes, Claire raised her hand for silence. We have no choice but to activate the Exodus Protocol, she announced. All stations will prepare for immediate relocation. She turned to Alan and Lisa. This is the moment of truth. Help us, and you come with us to a new future. Betray us, and you'll never leave this station. Alan looked at Lisa, who nodded. We'll help you, he said firmly. What the Confederation is doing is wrong. Humans deserve to exist just like any other species. Good, John said with evident relief. Because we'll need your knowledge of Confederation protocols to escape their fleet. Alarms began to sound throughout the station. Ben's console lit up with warning signals. Multiple ships just emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the system, he reported. They're not Confederation design. John's face paled. Pirates. They must have detected the same energy signatures and followed them here. This system is known for pirate activity, Lisa realized. They arrived before the Confederation fleet. So now we face threats from two directions. Claire said grimly, "We need to move quickly." On the main view screen, dozens of heavily armed pirate ships approached the station, while in the distance, the much larger Confederation fleet was beginning its journey toward them. Alan and Lisa sat in a comfortable room that served as their temporary quarters. They weren't exactly prisoners, but two guards stood outside their door at all times. After 3 hours of waiting, John Miller returned with a young woman. "This is Maria Rodriguez, our head historian," John explained. "The council has decided you should learn the truth about humanity before we decide what happens next." Maria smiled warmly. "Please, follow me." They walked through more of the station, passing areas that looked like small towns with parks, shops, and homes built within the massive structure. Children played while adults worked or relaxed. It seemed so normal, yet so impossible. "This way," Maria guided them to a large dome-shaped room. "This is our Heritage Center." The lights dimmed, and the entire room transformed into a three-dimensional display of Earth. "Most species in the Confederation believe humans destroyed themselves because we were violent and unstable," Maria said. "That was the story we wanted them to believe." The display changed to show humans throughout history, building cities, creating art, developing technology, and exploring. "What made humans special wasn't our strength or intelligence," Maria continued. "It was our adaptability and creativity. While other species took thousands of years to advance, we went from horse-drawn carriages to space travel in less than 2 centuries. That's why the other species feared us," Lisa realized. Maria nodded. "They created rules to slow us down, watched our colonies, limited our research. Some species even suggested eliminating us before we became too powerful." The display showed a group of humans in a secret meeting. "Our leaders realized we had 2 choices: fight a war we might not win or disappear. They chose to save our species by faking our extinction. The most brilliant minds created a plan that took 50 years to complete." Alan watched in amazement as the display showed the secret construction of space stations and the staged evidence of humanity's demise. "But you didn't just hide," Alan said. "Your technology is far beyond anything in the Confederation." John smiled. "Without restrictions, human innovation flourished. We've developed technologies the Confederation can't imagine." He led them to another section where people worked with floating holographic displays. "This is Ben Carter, our technology specialist." John introduced a man with kind eyes and a quick smile. Ben showed them a small device that fit in his palm. "This can power an entire city for a year. We've eliminated disease, extended our lifespans, and developed ways to travel faster than any Confederation ship. But if you're so advanced, why stay hidden?" Lisa asked. "You could easily defend yourselves now." "We chose a different path," Maria explained. "We've been watching over the galaxy, helping from the shadows." The display changed to show disasters throughout the galaxy. Asteroids diverted from populated planets, plagues mysteriously cured, peace negotiations that succeeded against all odds. "That was you?" Alan asked in surprise. John nodded. "We intervened when necessary, always anonymously. We chose to be guardians rather than conquerors." "And we've been preparing," Ben added. "Our greatest project is nearly complete." The display showed a beautiful planet with blue oceans and green continents. "New Earth," Maria said proudly. "Beyond Confederation space, we've been terraforming a new homeworld. In 10 years, we'll begin moving our people there." "This is incredible," Lisa whispered. "You've accomplished so much while everyone thought you were extinct." A soft alarm sounded, and John checked his communication device. His expression darkened. "We have a problem," he said. Your ship has been sending automated signals back to the Confederation. Someone knows you found us. Alan looked confused. That's impossible. We disabled all communications. Eric Harris. Lisa suddenly remembered. The communications officer who helped prepare the Stargazer. He must have installed a hidden transmitter. If the Confederation finds us before we're ready to reveal ourselves, John said grimly, everything we've built could be destroyed. Maria looked at Alan and Lisa with concern. Now you understand why we stayed hidden. The question is, are you with us or against us? After 3 days of space travel, the Stargazer reached the coordinates where the strange energy readings were detected. Alan and Lisa stared out the viewport, seeing nothing but empty space and distant stars. There's nothing here, Lisa said, checking the navigation system again. But the energy readings are stronger than ever. Ellen frowned and looked at the scanner. Something isn't right. The sensors show a massive object directly ahead, but we can't see anything. Suddenly, warning alarms blared throughout the ship. The Stargazer shuddered as an invisible force grabbed it. We're caught in some kind of tractor beam, Alan shouted, trying to regain control of the ship. The engines whined in protest, but the small vessel continued moving forward toward the empty space. Then, like a curtain being pulled aside, a massive space station appeared before them. It seemed to shimmer into existence as if a cloak had been removed. The station was enormous, at least 5 miles across, with a ring-like structure rotating slowly around a central hub. Cloaking technology, Lisa whispered in awe. That's supposed to be theoretical. The tractor beam pulled their ship toward a docking bay that opened like a mouth in the side of the station. The Stargazer landed gently on the deck inside. Armed figures in sleek gray uniforms surrounded the ship as soon as it touched down. What do we do now? Lisa asked, her voice shaking slightly. We came for answers, Alan said. Let's go meet our hosts. They stepped out of the Stargazer with their hands raised. The armed figures approached cautiously. Up close, Alan and Lisa could see they looked similar to many humanoid species in the Confederation, but something about them seemed different. A tall man with short brown hair stepped forward. I'm John Miller, Chief of Security. Who are you and how did you find this station? I'm Dr. Alan Gray, and this is Dr. Lisa Morgan. We're scientists from the Galactic Confederation Research Center, Alan explained. We detected energy signatures that matched old human technology. The armed figures looked at each other. Some lowered their weapons, while others kept them aimed at the visitors. That's impossible, John said. Our cloaking technology is perfect. Wait, Lisa interrupted. Did you say our? Are you human? John's expression changed. He studied them for a long moment before speaking again. Follow me. The council will want to meet you. They were led through gleaming corridors filled with people going about their daily lives. Children played in garden areas. Workers repaired machinery. Everyone looked at the visitors with curiosity and suspicion. These are all humans? Alan asked in disbelief. Yes, John replied. About 12,000 on this station alone. We have 7 other stations throughout this sector, with approximately 50,000 humans total. But the records say humans went extinct centuries ago, Lisa said. John smiled grimly. Exactly as planned. They entered a large circular room where 5 elderly people sat at a half-moon table. A woman with silver hair and sharp green eyes spoke first. I'm Claire Phillips, head of the Human Preservation Council. You've discovered something the galaxy wasn't meant to know. Alan stepped forward. The Confederation thinks humans are extinct. Why hide? Why fake your own extinction? Claire nodded to a younger woman who activated a holographic display showing images of early human-alien contact. The images showed conflict, violence, and fear. When humans first ventured into space, we were advancing faster than any species in recorded history, Claire explained. Our adaptability terrified the other species. Laws were created to limit human expansion. Our colonies were restricted. Research was monitored. The other species feared us, John added. There were even discussions about preemptive measures to ensure humans wouldn't dominate the galaxy. So we disappeared, Claire continued. We faked evidence of civil wars and plagues. We created the myth of our own extinction, while secretly building these stations in uncharted space. For 500 years, Lisa said in amazement, everyone believed humans were gone. And now you found us, Claire said, her expression serious. Which leaves us with a difficult question. John's hand moved to his weapon. What do we do with you? Dr. Alan Gray yawned as he stared at the screen showing energy readings from the deep space probes. The year 3457 had been uneventful so far at the Galactic Confederation Research Center. Most scientists considered his department boring, analyzing data from the outer reaches where nothing interesting ever happened. Still awake over there, Dr. Lisa Morgan called from her workstation. Her eyes were tired from reviewing the same patterns hour after hour. Barely, Alan replied. Just finishing Sector 87B. Nothing but normal cosmic radiation. And he stopped suddenly, his finger hovering over a strange reading. Wait, that's odd. Lisa walked over, her curiosity piqued. What did you find? These energy patterns. They don't match anything in our database. Alan pointed to unusual spikes in the otherwise smooth data flow. They're artificial. Lisa leaned closer, her eyes widening. Let me cross-reference this with the historical archives. Her fingers moved quickly over her tablet as she pulled up old energy signature records. After a few minutes, she gasped. Alan, these match old human technology signatures. That's impossible, Alan said, shaking his head. The last human died over 500 years ago. Everyone knows that. Lisa showed him the comparison. The pattern alignment is 89% consistent with human quantum fusion technology from before their extinction. It's not a coincidence. The Confederation historical records were clear. Humans had been a brilliant but volatile species who advanced too quickly for their own good. Their homeworld was destroyed in a civil war, and the remaining colonies died out from disease and resource shortages. At least, that was the official story taught in every school across the galaxy. We need to report this to the Council, Alan said, gathering the data files. The next day, they stood before the Confederation Council, a group of 12 representatives from the dominant species of the galaxy. Alan explained their discovery with careful detail, while Lisa presented the evidence of the energy readings. Council leader Jen, a tall blue-skinned Arcturian, looked unimpressed. Dr. Gray, Dr. Morgan, while we appreciate your diligence, there is a simpler explanation. Your equipment is malfunctioning. But sir, Lisa protested, we've checked everything 3 times. These readings are real. The humans are extinct, stated Councillor Varick, a reptilian saurian. We have verified this fact repeatedly over centuries. Your discovery would cause unnecessary panic. Alan tried again. All we're asking for is a proper expedition to investigate. Request denied, Jen interrupted. This meeting is concluded. Please focus on your assigned duties and repair your faulty equipment. Back in their lab, Lisa paced angrily. They didn't even consider the possibility. Alan sat quietly, thinking. They're afraid, he finally said. The historical records say humans were unpredictable and dangerous, if some survived. But we can't just ignore this, Lisa insisted. Alan looked at her with determination. We won't. My family owns a small exploratory vessel. It's nothing fancy, but it could get us to those coordinates. You're suggesting we go against the Council's orders? Lisa asked, though her eyes showed she'd already made up her mind. I'm suggesting we find the truth, Alan replied. If we're wrong, no harm done. If we're right. They spent the next week preparing in secret. Alan arranged leave from the center, claiming he needed time to visit family. Lisa gathered supplies and programmed the navigation systems with the coordinates from the energy readings. On a quiet evening, they boarded the small ship named Stargazer, As the vessel lifted off and headed toward the outer territories, Lisa looked at the stars through the viewport. "What do you think we'll find out there?" she asked. Alan shrugged. "I don't know. But whatever it is, it will change everything we thought we knew about humanity." The stargazer accelerated to light speed, carrying them toward a discovery that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Confederation and reveal that the greatest deception in galactic history had been hiding in plain sight for 5 centuries.